Think about the last time you learned something new. A new skill, a new subject, a new job. In those first few weeks, how did you feel? Probably pretty good. Maybe even great. Like you were getting it faster than most people would. Like you had a natural talent for it. And then, at some point, something shifted. You got better. And suddenly, you realized how little you actually knew. Here's the strange part. The worse you are at something, the more confident you feel. And the better you get, the more uncertain you become. That's not motivational nonsense. That's your brain. And it's been doing this to you your entire life. This is called the Dunning-Kruger Effect. The formal definition: the less competent you are at something, the less equipped you are to recognize your own incompetence. You don't just perform poorly. You actively misjudge how poorly you're performing. In 1999, two psychologists at Cornell University, David Dunning and Justin Kruger, published a paper that would go on to become one of the most cited in psychology. They weren't studying arrogance. They were studying a much stranger problem: the inability to know what you don't know. Their paper was titled, and I want you to hear this, Unskilled and Unaware of It. It won the Ig Nobel Prize in 2000, a prize given for research that first makes you laugh, then makes you think. It makes you think because it doesn't describe other people. It describes you. It describes all of us. In every new domain we enter, here's what they actually did. Dunning and Kruger tested 65 undergraduate students across 3 areas: logical reasoning, grammar, and the ability to recognize what's funny. After each test, they asked students 2 questions. First, how well do you think you did? Second, compared to everyone else in the room, where do you rank? Then they graded the tests. The results were striking. Students who scored in the bottom 25%, the weakest performers, estimated that they had outperformed roughly 62% of their peers. Their actual percentile: 12th. They were nearly last. They thought they were near the top. The top performers showed the opposite pattern. They consistently underestimated how well they'd done. The mechanism is almost elegant in how cruel it is. To accurately evaluate your own performance, you need the same skills required to perform well. If those skills are missing, so is your ability to see their absence. The gap is invisible from the inside. Now, a fair warning. The effect has been criticized. A 2020 meta-analysis by Gignac and Zayenkovsky found the correlation exists, but is more moderate than the original study suggested. Some researchers argue part of the pattern is statistical noise, but the core finding that low performers overestimate and high performers underestimate has been replicated across cultures, professions, and age groups. The shape of the curve varies. The direction does not. You've seen this in yourself. You just didn't have a name for it. Example 1. You start learning to cook. Week 1. You follow a recipe perfectly. Week 2. You start improvising. Week 3. You invite friends over for dinner. You're confident. The meal is fine, technically. But you have no idea that you're still making the 3 most fundamental mistakes every beginner makes, because you don't know those mistakes exist yet. Months later, after you've watched 100 hours of technique videos and burned a dozen attempts, you finally understand what you were doing wrong in week 3. That confidence in week 3 wasn't arrogance, it was a symptom. You hadn't yet learned enough to know what you didn't know. But it doesn't stop at hobbies. Example 2. Think about the last political topic you had a strong opinion on: healthcare policy, immigration, economic stimulus. Now, If someone asked you to explain the actual mechanics of how that policy works, the implementation, the trade-offs, the historical precedents, how far would you get? A 2013 study published in Psychological Science asked people to rate their understanding of complex policies like carbon trading and the debt ceiling. Then it asked them to actually explain those policies in detail. The moment people tried to explain, their confidence collapsed. They hadn't understood. They had felt like they understood. This is sometimes called the illusion of explanatory depth, and it's most dangerous in exactly the domains where people argue the loudest. Scale that up, and the consequences get serious. Example 3. In 2020 and 2021, millions of retail investors entered the stock market for the first time, many through apps that made trading feel like a game. A survey by eTrade found that 68% of newer investors, those with less than 3 years of experience, described their own investing skill as above average or excellent. In the same period, a study by Dalbar found that the average retail investor significantly underperformed the S&P 500 index, the benchmark most professionals struggle to beat. 68% believed they were above average. The data suggested the opposite. The market is not a place that cares about how confident you feel. Before you conclude that your brain is broken, it isn't. It's doing exactly what it evolved to do. The problem is that what it evolved to do was optimized for a very different world. For most of human history, hesitation was fatal. If you spent too long evaluating whether you were good enough to fight, run, or build, you lost. The people who acted with confidence, even incomplete confidence, were more likely to survive. Overconfidence wasn't a flaw, it was a feature. It produced action when action was needed. The cost of that feature was self-awareness. You weren't supposed to spend energy questioning your own competence. You were supposed to use that energy to act. The trouble is, you're still running that same hardware. In a world that requires nuanced judgment, technical expertise, and long-term thinking, your brain still defaults to confident action over accurate self-assessment. It's not stupidity. It's evolution running an old script in a new environment. You can't eliminate this effect, but you can build specific habits that interrupt it. Here are 3 that actually work, and why. Technique 1, the explanation test. Before you act on a strong opinion or confident decision, try to explain the underlying mechanism out loud or in writing. Not what you believe, how it works. Step by step. This works because fluency feels like understanding. The moment you try to explain something in detail, the illusion breaks. If your explanation falls apart, you've just located your blind spot. Technique 2, seek the steel man, not the straw man. Find the most credible person who disagrees with your position and read their 3 best arguments. Not to be convinced, to understand where the genuine difficulty lies. This works because Dunning-Kruger thrives on ignorance of opposing complexity. Encountering well-constructed disagreement forces the brain to update its competence estimate. Technique 3, the 48-hour rule. On any decision you feel completely certain about, wait 48 hours before committing. Then reread your own reasoning. This works because initial confidence is partly emotional. Removing the emotional state from the decision allows the analytical system to surface. Doubts the confident state suppressed. Remember those first weeks of learning something new? The confidence that felt so real. That wasn't you being arrogant. That was your brain doing its job, filling in uncertainty with the only signal it had. Incomplete information processed as complete understanding. The Dunning-Kruger Effect doesn't make you stupid. It makes you human. The difference between the people it damages and the people it doesn't isn't intelligence. It's the habit of asking, what is it that I might not be seeing here? That question won't make you certain, but it might make you right. If you want to know which bias is quietly running your decisions next week, subscribe. New video every Thursday.